Let's get you all the latest on the earthquake that has struck Myanmar, a massive 7.7 magnitude earthquake and an aftershock of 6.8 as well. And there have been impacts felt far away in Thailand, and there's panic in Bangkok, where even emergency has been declared. The Thai Prime Minister, in fact, is holding an urgent meeting. Let's go across to Aditi for more, as these images are emerging, an under construction building collapsing there in Bangkok. Aditi, take us through all these various images emerging and more details of the panic caused by this earthquake.
Absolutely, Gargi. Stunning visuals coming in from Myanmar. You can see a building collapsing like a pack of cards. The chaos that spiraled afterwards. This is an under construction building that fell so swiftly after these twin quakes jolted Myanmar and the neighboring countries. Remember, these are the visuals coming in currently. So far, the damage has not been ascertained, but emergency has been declared and meetings are being conducted by the government and administration. You can see how people are running helter and skelter over there after this building collapsed like a pack of cards. We have more visuals coming in of this earthquake after this earthquake jolted Myanmar this morning. Remember, these are the visuals of a building. You can see over here how there is water coming down from this building, as there was a swimming pool on top of the building. After this earthquake jolted Myanmar, you can see the water gushing downstairs, as the magnitude of this seismic activity was so strong that people living in high-rise, there was panic and chaos all over Myanmar. Look at this visual. You can see people coming out, evacuating buildings and taking shelter wherever they feel safe. These are the visuals. Remember, these high-rise buildings are more prone to much more damage, the large-scale damage that we can expect currently as the 6.6 magnitude earthquake. Then 7.7 magnitude earthquake must have made chaos was unraveling. You can see the water. Look at and God forbid if somebody was downstairs when the water was falling off, you can see the chaos, the panic on the face and the people inside that high rise. These visuals also show you the scale of panic in Myanmar. This is the rubble that has been created after some part of a building collapsed. This is the rubble that has fallen down after the earthquake jolted Myanmar. You can see the kind of impact this earthquake has left in Myanmar, after which authorities have pressed in caution measure. People have been asked to relocate to safer locations. You can see the condition of the houses, dilapidated conditions, totally destroyed. Remember, this was once a beautiful house and now it is all in rubbles. This is the amount of panic and chaos that happened, that unraveled after these twin earthquakes jolted Myanmar. You can see the condition of the building, and just imagine the massive scale at which this earthquake has unfolded. These two earthquakes have completely shaken Myanmar. You can see people running for their lives, saving every bit what's left. The buildings falling like house of, pack of cards, like a pack of cards they fell. Then people were asked to relocate to safer locations and move to safeguard their lives. Authorities have also requested people to take shelter wherever they find it possible to save their lives. You can see the visuals. These are the high-rise buildings and the scale and the massive impact these twin earthquakes have led in Myanmar. In fact, the global helping hand has come forward. Indian Prime Minister has also assured all help to Thailand and Myanmar after these earthquakes jolted the entire nation. Everybody is panic-stricken. You can see the construction areas, under construction buildings falling in, people coming out of the malls. You can see over there the plumes of smoke that is coming out after the under construction structures are falling off. And these are the buildings where remember, this is the area which is not prone to such amount of earthquakes. So this also gives us the need. You can see these are the fresh visuals which are coming in right now. You can see the swimming pools on top of the building. The water is coming out from them. The buildings are intact so far. These are the cracks you can see. These are the cracks visible after this twin earthquake that came in. The rubble is everywhere. People are taking shelter in safer areas, but this also shows you the scale at which these earthquakes have really impacted the people of Myanmar. These are the several people. Look at the panic on their faces. They were rushed out, and now they're just waiting to conditions to get normal and then take shelter again. The Indian Prime Minister is also extending help to the government, saying that India stands ready to offer us all possible assistance to Myanmar and Thailand in this hour of need.
All right, Aditi, thanks so much for taking us through those very frightening visuals from Myanmar and from Bangkok. As we mentioned, a state of emergency there, buildings shaking, sloshing. The swimming pools on top of the building. Now, as Aditi mentioned, Prime Minister Modi has also expressed his concern. There you can see an under construction building in Bangkok just collapsing. The Prime Minister has posted concerned by the situation in the wake of the earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand, praying for the safety and well-being of everyone. India stands ready to offer all possible assistance in this regard, ask our authorities to be on standby, and have asked the MEA to remain in touch with governments of Myanmar and Thailand. Let's just listen into what some of the tourists had to say on experiencing those earthquakes.
So I was in this building right behind me. It was a shopping mall, and I was there to buy camera equipment, and all of a sudden the whole building just began to move. Immediately there was screaming, there was a lot of panic. I just started walking calmly at first, but then the building started really moving, and yeah, a lot of screaming, a lot of panic, people running the wrong way down the escalators, like lots of banging and crashing inside the mall. I got outside and then looked up at the building, that one there, and this whole building was just moving, dust and debris. It was pretty intense.
I was sitting in a bar, restaurant bar on Soy 22 off Sukhumvit, just talking to a stranger there, and the next thing, because it was a small bar, we just felt a movement. There was no nothing moving in the building, but the next thing everybody came on the street, so there was a lot of screaming and panicking, which obviously made it a lot worse. I went on the street and I looked up, and a building equivalent to this one here was actually, you could see it compared to the next one, it was actually moving. It was swaying, and all the water was coming from the top of the and that's when it got me,
All right, so that's the experience of some tourists there. But let's go across to Vishal now for more. And Vishal, a massive earthquake, 2 earthquakes in fact. The aftershock was almost as big as the first one. This was in Myanmar, but the impact being felt in Thailand, in China as well, in the Yunnan province. And this visual of a building under construction building collapsing, in fact, is from Thailand, where a state of emergency has been declared. Tell us more of what's being said.
The thing to be noted here is that Myanmar, which is one of the poorest nations in Asia, is not quite equipped to handle a devastation of such magnitude. So far, only few reports have trickled in from Myanmar. They show a few images and few visuals of some of the old, artifacts and heritage sites being damaged. But so far, no reports on how many people have been injured or killed, because 7.7, mind you, is a big magnitude. People have been killed. Thousands of people have been killed in earthquakes with lesser magnitude, such as 7 and 7.2. So it will have to be seen how big of an earthquake this has been in terms of damage that it has done. But so far, only reports of buildings falling, buildings rattling, swimming pools spilling from top of the buildings. These are the images that we've seen so far, but no reports of any casualties. But there is one report coming in from Bangkok which says that about 43 odd construction workers are stuck under a rubble of a building, a 30-story building that collapsed after the earthquake struck, the Tremors struck. So that will have to be seen. No reports as to how many people have been injured or killed in that particular instance as well. And many reports are coming in from the ground, and people have been flocking the streets. Mass evacuations are under place in Bangkok. Bangkok is quite equipped to handle this quake, even though it's not been directly hit. There have been strong tremors there, but it all boils down to what's happening in Myanmar. So far, the information is scant coming in from Myanmar. Mind you, it's a country that's been troubled by several things in the recent past, from the civil war. So all of that will have to be seen.
Right, and Vishal, concerns that Are we going to get correct information? Are we going to get enough information of what really happened on the ground, given that it's ruled by the military junta that is known to be very secretive? But most of these visuals of these tall buildings we're getting all from hundreds of kilometers away in Thailand, in Bangkok, where the impact of this earthquake was felt. Joining us on the phone line, Aditya Dogra, a freelance journalist there from Bangkok. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Give us more details of what's the situation like right now. We're seeing all these images of buildings, an under construction building collapsing, shaking, the pool sloshing there and water falling down and people rushing into the streets.
Yeah, hi. Pleasure to talk to you. The earthquake over here has been quite massive. The aftershocks were also quite massive. It began around 1:30 p.m., which should be around 12 p.m. in Delhi, and there have been 2 aftershocks still after that. The buildings, despite being reinforced for such situations, were still shaking. And thankfully, the sense of community and the overall management over here is really good. So people were able to evacuate quite nicely. There has been some damage in buildings that weren't really condos or skyscrapers, and some under construction areas as well. But thankfully, both the local authorities as well as the building managements and other businesses around are all helping people out, distributing some free water, distributing some food, and kind of making sure that everyone feels safe in such a situation.
That's right, Aditya. State of emergency has also been declared for the capital city, and there are reports of workers trapped under the debris of an under construction building that collapsed. Some 43 workers?
Yes, there are about 45 plus workers. It could even be a larger number, but that's what is confirmed for now. And they are underway to kind of arrange things for them right now. That there is, of course, some other reports coming in as well about people being hurt or stampedes as well during evacuation. But things are still yet to be confirmed because there is so much confusion right now, and even the phone lines and everything have been affected a bit in certain regions of the city.
That's right. And so for the moment, people, evacuated certain buildings. We're seeing all these visuals. And mind you, just telling our viewers that most of the visuals of the buildings are all coming from Bangkok. So right now, people still are waiting for more direction from authorities, not returning to these buildings, worried about aftershocks. What's the situation?
Yeah, everyone is on the roads right now. We are not really allowed to even enter the buildings again till the maintenance kind of does a whole check to kind of make sure that the building is still strong and there are no defects going on right now. They're also making sure that people who are on the roads are feeling safe, and that if they need medical care or any even mental care for that matter, police over here is offering any kind of help that anyone needs on the street. And they're also at the same time conducting thorough checks in all the condo buildings and all the businesses as well, just to make sure that everything is perfectly fine before all the people are allowed inside. There's also a slight monitoring happening of the aftershocks, so that in case there's an aftershock predicted in the next half an hour or hour, we would again have to wait for even longer outside. Right now, the expected time we'll be waiting outside is at least 2 hours.